All right, now that we have our end table tops made up, the next step is to actually start assembling our actual leg blanks. And these pieces are just, again, some leftover poplar, some red oak, and then a little bit of white oak. And then I think some of this is also Douglas fir. These are all roughly 2x2 sections. Originally, I was going to make the actual legs a 2x2, but then I figured that was a little too small for what I actually wanted for the legs on these end tables. So what I ended up doing was taking some of the 2x2s, gluing them together, adding some 1x2s, and essentially the legs are going to be a hodgepodge of 3 different types of wood, being poplar and red oak, and then also Douglas fir and red oak. So essentially this is going to be a series of multiple glue ups to get the legs to be a thick enough blank. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually glue up 2 pieces to make it, let's say a 1x3. And then I need to glue up another 2 pieces to make another 1x3. And then after that, I'm going to sandwich those pieces together to do another glue up, which will make my actual leg blanks. These pieces aren't milled to be the exact same dimensions or anything else. My goal is just to glue up enough blanks to get a sizable leg. And then I'm going to go ahead and joint and rip everything else down to be the proper dimensions. So after these next couple glue ups, I'll catch up to you guys once we get back over to the table saw and we start milling everything down to the proper leg blanks. And now we have various leg blanks. Essentially, each one of these leg blanks are made up of a non-important wood, being either Douglas fir or poplar, mixed in with a little bit of either red oak or white oak on the face of it. Afterwards, the next step is to actually go through and plane and mill everything down to our proper dimensions, and then we can go into actually shaping our legs and then doing our joinery to actually interlock all of our leg pieces. Let's head over to the table saw. Alright, now that we're at the table saw, the next step is to start making all of our rectangular blanks. And because all this material was actually jointed before the initial glue ups, I can actually use, like in this case, the piece of red oak up against my fence as a reference edge, and that'll help bring things into parallel. Then I can do another rip, which will again then give me a square or 90-degree reference face, and I'll essentially keep flipping them end for end until I get a perfectly rectangular blank. It's going to be pretty much a rinse and repeat process through the table saw. And again, I could have went to the jointer or to the planer, but again, at this point, instead of milling through a whole bunch of material, I figured to use the table saw, hack off most of it, and get it to a relatively square blank because I'm starting off with a bunch of square and jointed material. So we want to get all these down to the proper sizes, and then I'm going to show you guys how I do the joinery or the intersecting piece for each one of these leg assemblies, and then we can actually go on to actually putting everything together. So I'll catch back up to you guys after we're done here at the table saw. Alright, so now the next step for this is to actually cut all the aprons for this leg assembly. And typically, like on a table, you would have 4 pieces of your apron that actually kind of connect to all 4 of the legs. In this case, I want my legs to, one, be splayed outward, and I also want them to be sitting in a catacorner arrangement. So I actually want to have my aprons kind of half lap across each other, going across the middle of my end table, and then you want to tie into each one of my individual legs. So the first thing I need to do is actually cut this half lap joint into this piece of mahogany. And then part of my design element here was that the intersecting pieces will be mahogany, the actual top will be mahogany, but then the legs will be the various woods, being either poplar, Douglas fir, and red oak. I'm going to actually stain all those like a walnut Danish oil color, so it'll be two different colors playing off each other, being the mahogany and then the walnut Danish old legs. Hopefully this stretcher piece will help tie everything in together. I do have a few more accents, being what I actually do for the drawer fronts, that will help tie everything in together as well. But again, we're going to go ahead and get all these pieces cut with the half laps, and then I can actually show you guys how everything's going to kind of assemble together in the next portion. Alright, so the one thing I did do off screen was actually cut the leg blanks to their proper lengths. I also cut the actual legs themselves at a slight angle. So I believe they canceled out by like 11, maybe 15 degrees at the top and bottom. So when the legs are sitting flat on my workbench, they splay outward. And then also cut a corresponding, I think it's 15 or 11 degree angle on each one of my actual apron pieces. So that way when they meet, they actually, one will push the legs themselves outward, but how they're splaying and everything else, they end up meeting perfectly flat. Then I can actually use some pocket holes to help lock everything in together. And this was actually a little bit tricky because how everything is splayed outward. If I was making everything perfectly flush, I could use my Craig face frame clamps to kind of lock everything together. But my aprons are narrower than my actual legs themselves, and I wanted them to be centered. So the fight ended up being, how do I get the legs standing upright and my apron dialed into the center, and then driving pocket screws without everything moving. So I ended up using two inline clamps to actually pinch the legs together nice and tight. And then I used one of my bench dog clamps to actually hold the apron piece downward. So when I drove in my pocket screws, it couldn't back out, or the legs themselves couldn't push away. A little bit complicated to get each one of these pieces assembled, but once I came out with the method, it became repeatable. So all I have to do now is actually pocket hole each one of these aprons to the actual legs, and then you'll see how the half flap actually works together once all four of the leg assembly pieces get put together. And then after that, it gets mounted to the actual underside of my cabinet. There'll be some routing and fine detailing to go next, but essentially this is a leg assembly. They're pretty simple. I probably could have done like another taper on the actual legs themselves to kind of have them smaller at the bottom, wider as they come up toward the top. But again, I'm kind of designing this on the fly, and as of now, I say they're coming out all right. If you guys have any other options or what I could have done with some legs, definitely let me know down below. Drop some hints, maybe leave some pictures, because inspiration is definitely one of the things that I'm lacking the most in. But I'll catch back up to you guys after we get all the legs assembled and we start trying to actually do the half lapping portion and get everything actually fully assembled. Alright, so by this point we have all the actual legs assembled. The next step is to actually go in and start profiling them, and I'm just going to use a large chamfer bit and take multiple passes on all the legs just to kind of give them a slight taper or a slimming look as you look at them directly from the front. Then they'll kind of beef up as you look at the rest of the leg, kind of as an optical illusion to make the legs not look so chunky as they are. But I really do love how you have the Douglas fir and that red oak kind of popping right there on the legs. Each one of the legs kind of have a two-tone look to them, so when I actually stain them, I think it's going to come out phenomenal. And after we get all this routed, the next step is to go into the final sanding, and then we actually have to prep for stain. And again, if you guys do remember, the center aprons, those pieces are all mahogany. Everything else is going to get stained a walnut Danish hole. So the first step is, after we get everything profiled and sanded, is to actually tape off all the aprons, stain the legs themselves, so that way I can actually do the teak oil finish on the mahogany and the rest of the cabinet all at the same time. So after we get everything routed and sanded, the next step will be tape and prep for proper staining. I'll catch back up to you guys after all this routing is done. Definitely am loving these bench dog clamps though. Makes doing stuff like this a lot easier. Gives you a second hand. So if you guys don't have any, I definitely recommend picking up some. But yeah, I'll catch back up to you guys in just a moment. Alright, we're finally finishing the end process for all the legs. The last thing, like I said, we need to do is actually tape off the actual center apron pieces so I don't get any stain on any of that. I don't need to tape off the whole entire piece, just probably, again, this tape is a 3-inch wide roll, so throwing a piece of tape right here where the leg meets the apron should be more than enough unless I'm going completely wild with the stain. After that, only thing I need to do is, again, apply some stain with a rag and buff into all 4 of the legs, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then come back and wipe off any of the excess. But with that, we will have a completed set of legs for both of our nightstands. We have both of the tops, we have the legs. The next step is to figure out how we're going to actually mount and integrate the legs with the top, and how we're going to delve into and deal with the actual drawer that I want to use. I kind of have an idea of a wooden drawer slide system that I want to make, so definitely stay tuned for those future videos. After we get it mounted, we're going to delve into building a custom solid wood mahogany drawer and getting everything else installed, and then the finish and everything else. So if you guys have enjoyed this process so far, please let me know down below. Smash that like button, leave me a comment, check out my other social medias being TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and then I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.